Josiah-Jordan James will return to the Vols. How big of a boost is this, Caleb, in your mind? The Triple J back at the UT.
This is huge for Tennessee. They have, and I wrote this yesterday, the most loaded team in the SEC now, basketball-wise. And they're constructed the way they've always needed to be constructed, which is to say their transfer, they got Chris Ledlum, Josiah-Jordan James returning. Those are going to be stretch four guys that play in the post. So Rick Barnes is going to play small ball. That is a huge, huge deal for Tennessee because I've been screaming at him to do that. I've been saying your defensive specialists need to play at the 4, and you need to have sharpshooters at the 2 and the 3. Your wing needs to be another sharpshooter with your 2. They are loaded with those. The only real question for Tennessee at this point is who's going to back up Zakai Ziegler at point guard when he comes back, because you don't really want Santiago Vescovi moving over into that role. So they need to find somebody. But Josiah-Jordan James back is incredible. And remember, guys, he battled injuries last year, but he's averaged over 10 points a game the last 2 years, despite being the defensive specialist. If he can have one healthy season and a full offseason and up his 3-point shooting to maybe 35%, I mean, there's low-key All-American potential with this guy. Remember, he was once a 5-star coming out.
No, I think it's monstrous. Now, you think that Rick Barnes will shift his thinking to be more small ball, or does he have to do it because that's his roster?
It's his roster, but he chose this roster. And for those who don't realize, Tennessee, they were already maxed out on scholarships, by the way. So Josiah-Jordan James is coming back as a walk-on. NIL money's having something to say about that. But I think he's shifting his thinking because right now you have Jonas Adu and Toby Awaka are really your only 2 experienced post players. Now you have Cade Phillips and I believe it's JP Estrella coming in, but that's not, I mean, you can't have a 2 deep rotation with those guys at the, in the post. So you're going to have to go with Josiah-Jordan James, who has played the 4, and Chris Ledlum, who's very experienced. And I mean, this is something that I think Tennessee fans should be very, very excited about. I think Rick Barnes is going to be forced to play small ball with this roster. But I do think it's a change of philosophy because he put together this roster. He assembled it.
What are your thoughts on where Tennessee can get? What's the glass ceiling for Tennessee? They're the Blue Bloods of North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky. I don't think they can ever get there, but what can they do if this program takes off and has more postseason success than Rick Barnes is used to?
I mean, you could always see a national championship with Tennessee.
See, I agree. I thought you were going to set the goals a little bit lower, but I totally agree because of the NIL money. And the NIL money is there. We've seen it in football. I think we did see it with Josiah-Jordan James coming back. Here's the other thing. You have the facilities in the Pratt Pavilion and Thompson Bowling Arena. So you don't have to ask donors to build that. You just say, hey, get us the next Victor Wembanyama. I mean, that is your goal, is to find that next guy, and he can make $10 million a year in Tennessee can win a national championship. Say they did it. It's kind of like jumping out of an airplane, skydiving. I did it. I'm done. I'm good. Or running a marathon. They could do that and turn that within 3 to 4 years. I am not exaggerating whatsoever for effect.
Yeah, and also, unlike football, there aren't structural disadvantages really to any college. Any college basketball program could break through. There's not. It's not like, because basketball, you're right, get one superstar recruit. You could have a national championship run or run one system. The proof of that, more than anybody, by the way, we always forget about it. Arkansas. I don't think of them as a basketball state, but Nolan Richardson won a national title there, and because he ran 40 minutes of hell. And
well,
so
there's Florida too. Florida as well.
Florida won back-to-back national titles. So I think college basketball, it's funny, college basketball, a lot more than college football, the coach actually it's more dependent. The coach is even more important because football, there's so many structural things that make a program good that is almost immune to whatever the coach does many times. I've said that about LSU for years. But basketball, if you take a job at any Power 5 or even lesser tier school, any coach can win a national title at any of those schools.
Gonzaga, by the way, did not have the resources that Tennessee has currently to be able to put together one of the best college basketball programs in the nation. And I hate the term mid-major. There's no mid-majors anymore. If you spend the cash, it should all be based on that. If you're spending $25 million a year on basketball, you're not a mid-major. And I would guess that's somewhere around what Gonzaga is spending. Tennessee used to, back in the day, spend $10 million a year, $15 million a year, and they had a pretty good program. Take it to the next level. Go ahead and drop that cash out there. Here's the other thing to remember too, Caleb, that I would encourage those collectives out there. Basketball players, by definition, are better marketing athletes than any other sport because you see their face. You don't see football players' faces. So I go ahead and tell you, if I'm a personal injury attorney, I know they're doing this a lot in Louisiana with LSU. I've got my arm around Josiah-Jordan. Well, I've got my arm around the next Victor Wembanyama, and I'm saying I'm all Vol, and it's on every billboard in Knoxville. That is how you go out and market these guys, and that's how you associate yourself with them. So then every time somebody watches a basketball game, they think of Bobby. Bobby is a great personal injury attorney, or Johnny Charleston's car lot. That's where I need to go. That is exactly what I would do. And I would make him the absolute, not to take anything away from Nico, but I would make him the biggest star in Knoxville in order to win a national championship, because I think Tennessee's in great shape in football already. They could be in elite shape with one dude, Caleb, one dude.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah, throw everything. Well, I'm almost with you.
Okay.
Because I track this in pros now. I think the market has actually this. I would say this is relatively recent. I would say this is only 10 years ago. This was true, but it is true now. Basketball players were by definition more marketable than football players, except for quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have surpassed basketball players in terms of marketability. And just let's go to the NBA. I believe Patrick Mahomes has the richest contract in any sport now. Now, NBA players are the richest players by far of any sport, and they deserve it. But quarterbacks are the richest players specifically. And let's be honest, they deserve it. Patrick Mahomes is more marketable than any NBA player right now, bar none.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. Would you rather, you're a business in Knoxville, would you rather have, and I'm picking a guy out that was elite and won a championship and you just got 1 year out of him, okay? So I'm going to go with Carmelo Anthony. Forget about the issues that he may have had in the NBA and all. I'm just going with what he did at Cuse, okay? So would you rather have Carmelo Anthony and he win a national title, or whatever Nico does?
I'm still taking Nico. 3 years of Nico. First of all, you get you get 3 years of Nico. You get one with Melo. And also, you can win a national title buying a quarterback just like you can buying a basketball player. It happened once with Melo, where they got I'm not saying Syracuse bought him, but a one and done that won a national title. It also happened in football with Cam Newton. Auburn's like, let me get Cam Newton for a year, and we got a national title coming out of this. And national titles in football always outweigh national titles in basketball.
But you don't know that. But under my premise, you don't know that
a chance at a national title in football outweighs a
you take a chance at a national title over a national title with Victor Carmelo Anthony III.
Okay, Dave.
Over Nico.
Let's break this down for a minute. Okay, come on.
Let's break this down with I might be on the air with an insane guy. That's where this is going. Go ahead.
Wait. Okay.
It's like when somebody says, not to offend you, but you're gaining a lot of weight.
You're in Knoxville right now. You need to sell a car. Let's just take it to the greatest player in each sport. You can either market Bernard King or Peyton Manning. Who are you marketing?
At the time, Bernard King was a big deal, I'm told. You're before my time.
Are you comparing him to Peyton Manning, though, at Tennessee?
He was on the front page of Sports Illustrated, so they're at least in the same ballpark.
Well, Manning was supposed to be on the front page. I think they changed it after Florida dropped 62 on Tennessee. I think he was still on the front page. Come on, Dave. I got you in a corner. You're really going to go down this rabbit hole to say that Bernard King was more marketable than Peyton Manning?
Okay. How about this? Would you take Bernard King over Casey Clausen? Casey Clausen was on the verge, but didn't win one. As a marketing voice of your company, both have impeccable characters, I guess. I didn't cover Bernard, but let's say that.
You're see, that's unfair. Because you're
talking. It's not.
Yes, it is. It's an unfair standard because you're taking the greatest player in Tennessee basketball history, bar none, who had a should have been Hall of Fame NBA career, would have been had he not gotten injured, versus a top 5 quarterback in Tennessee football history who didn't have an NFL career. And I mean, it's debatable where I would say he's in the 3 to 5 range. I mean, he's not top 2 in Tennessee football history as a quarterback. And if you do players in general, he may not even be top 10. So
okay, so let me ask you, let's make it real clear. If Carmelo Anthony shows up on campus and wins a national title for the Vols, and that would therefore designate him as the best Tennessee basketball player of all time, right?
Yes.
I mean, he would be anyway. I mean, in his prime, he's better now than Houston, Ernie, and Bernie, and all that stuff, I think. Okay, so issues in the NBA withstanding. All right, so I'll give you him, that guy. I'll give you Vol Carmelo winning a national championship one year, or I'll give you what Peyton Manning did winning one SEC title. From a marketing perspective,
Peyton Manning every single time. Every single time. Not even a question, bro.
Probably largely depends on what you're marketing as well. A jeweler would rather have the fall leading into the holiday season, whereas maybe an HVAC dealer like City Heating and Air Conditioning would love to be on in March when the temperatures get higher. So I guess it depends.
There's spring practice in March. Football is the engine. Football is the engine in a car. Basketball are the tires. Maybe. I don't know what basketball is. The turn signal? It's something like that. Okay. Basketball's the turn signal.